Welcome back to College Football Addiction. We're talking to my buddy Jay from Unfair Sports about Oklahoma, Tennessee this weekend. A really big one, an SEC matchup, which is maybe a little bit weird to think about and say. First one for Oklahoma. We appreciate BetUS for their support. We'll talk about them in just a minute. But Jay, I appreciate you joining me. How weird is it to have Josh Heupel coming home as a coach for another team this weekend?
It's very odd. I mean, if you think about it, he's the quarterback that won the last national championship here. He was also fired as the offensive coordinator because he wasn't very good at the time. And he'll even say it himself, though, right? The good thing is he recognized. He's like, yeah, he was very upset and a little butthurt about the fact that he got cut, here. But he says that's what led him to Tennessee, right? He needed to go. He took some other jobs, went to Utah State, left over and went to UCF. And, he started to build up his resume because he had to basically change some of the things that he was doing. And now he's at Tennessee. And I'm going to be honest, he's got him on a nice upward trajectory. They're actually one team that I tell Sooner fans about 2 years ago when Brent Venables was hired to keep their eyes on, because in a way that Heupel is building Tennessee, it's a way that's going to be similar to the way Brent Venables is going to do at Oklahoma.
Yeah. So, the hysteria around this game or the excitement, I mean, game of the week and then the storylines that come into it are pretty fantastic. Like, it's going to be a lot of fun on Saturday night for really certainly Oklahoma and Tennessee folks, but I think the country to get to watch this. And two contrasting styles. We'll talk about the game more in just a minute, but I had my buddy Tyler McComas, does a local radio show there in Oklahoma. I had him on last week, and he tweeted during the Houston game, concern level high. And so I tweeted him when it was 24-6, and I was like, hey, man, no concerns, right? Like, this is what you wanted to see. Well, 24-6 quickly turned into 24-19. Now, Oklahoma ended up winning going away by 15. But what is the mood before we get into Tennessee coming out of that Tulane game? What's the mood in Norman right now, just overall?
Well, so the SEC requires now that the Wednesday before a conference game, you have to release your injury report. And if there's one thing that's been going on with Oklahoma is that we've been struggling with a lot of injuries, particularly at the offensive line and at the wide receiver position, right? Jackson Arnold being a true sophomore, only having one career start, played in about 5 games his freshman year. This year, this was the year for him to take over. Dylan Gabriel leaves. So the stress levels were already high. The concerns were there. We had 5 offensive linemen leave. 4 went to the draft. 1 transferred. We had both our starting left tackle and right tackle drafted in the NFL draft. Tyler Guyton got drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in the first round after transferring to Oklahoma from TCU after playing defensive tackle. So we've put together some good lines, but you're replacing a whole bunch of starts, bringing in transfers, bringing in new players. So Oklahoma had to kind of redo some things. And luckily, our offensive line coach, Bill Beatonbow's been around over 12 years. So we're comfortable with what he's going to put together. But when your team ain't healthy, you still got concern. So going into the season, the expectation was the wide receiver room was going to basically supplement Jackson Arnold, help him to get more comfortable faster. Well, your 4 top receivers are all injured going into the season, right? And you lose 2 for the rest of the year. You've got Nick Anderson, who hasn't played, but he's coming back this weekend. And then Andrew Anthony's coming off knee surgery that he had after the Texas game last year, and he was able to come back within 10 months. The mood now is a little bit more comfortable now that injury report showed up. That shows a lot of people probable that we've been hoping for. Starting center Branson Hickman, he's a probable. He's questionable, but he's expected to play. Troy Everett, he's a probable. He's another center. Think about this, TJ. If your quarterback had 4 different centers in a 3-game stretch, how concerned would you be?
Yeah, concern level high.
High,
maybe
exactly.
getting better. All right, so let's talk about the game. First, I do want to give some love over to BetUS. The spread right now on this game is Tennessee -7. And it feels like everybody in the world is on that side. We'll talk about that in a moment. But you can go to BetUS right now. Use our code YouTube150. That's YouTube150. You get a 150% deposit bonus match on that. And then on your next 2 deposits, it's a 125% match. Go check them out. That's up to $2,000. They've got some of the best lines in the game. Great customer service. You will not be disappointed with your experience at BetUS. Again, it's YouTube150. All right, Jay. So you talked about Jackson Arnold, talked about the offensive line, wide receivers, some guys coming back in this game. But I want to look at the other side of the ball. This is going to be an offensive, Heupel being very offensive, obviously a Heisman Trophy winner. Nico, the quarterback there, certainly going to be what you would think Tennessee kind of features. And Oklahoma's defense is really, really, really good. And so how do you think Oklahoma performs against an offense that is Josh Heupel's and against a quarterback who is certainly up for consideration early in the year for the Heisman?
See, the best part about this is that Josh Heupel's offense is also similar to the way Jeff Lebby ran things. Remember, Lebby was underneath Heupel, as he was coming up. Honestly, Lebby thought he was going to get the UCF job when Josh Heupel left and went to Tennessee, but, it didn't work out for him, unfortunately. But now he's the head coach at Mississippi State. So obviously things have shaped out well for him. But for this is funny because mentioning that Brent Venables was around when Josh Heupel was running the offense at Oklahoma. They departed about the same time. And so they are very familiar with each other, especially around playing against each other's offensive and defensive schemes. Now, Venables has evolved, and same thing with Heupel's, but for the most part, he likes his tempo. He likes to push the ball down the field. But the most important thing for the Josh Heupel offense is that run game. That run game sets up the deep pass. The most important thing in a Brent Venables defense is what? Stopping the run. So it's going to be an amazing battle seeing both of them play this chess match against each other this week because the curiosity is, can a Danny Stutzman, right, one of the All-American, one of the nation's top linebackers, is he going to be able to lead that linebacker unit and that front four to be able to, their entire front seven, if anything, are they going to be able to stop that heavy run game that Tennessee has with Devin Sampson out there? He's killing the game. The question is, can Oklahoma slow them down in the run game? And so that's where most of the match is going to be at.
Yeah, Sampson absolutely gashed the heck out of NC State. Now, I certainly think that Oklahoma's got a much better defense than NC State, but still, it was impressive to see against another Power 4 opponent, an opponent that, we kind of thought going into the year NC State would be halfway decent. Right. He made them look like I won't call out any other teams, but a group of 5 teams, right? We'll just say that.
My bad. It's Dylan Sampson, not Devin. Dylan Sampson and Deshaun Bishop is the other running back. Man, their backfield is really good.
So something Oklahoma never ever has to deal with, and this is an interesting side of things. We mentioned the spread that you can get over at BetUS right now. Tennessee is a touchdown favorite on the road. Embracing the underdog role at home, and not just an underdog, like a touch, like it's not 2 points because Georgia's coming in or something like that, which I don't remember the last time Georgia came in anyway. So, but being a touchdown dog at home, I saw something that hasn't happened in years and years and years to be that big of a dog at home. And it feels like everyone is on Tennessee. Like everyone's like, just a touchdown? Like that offense is going to absolutely crush. How much do you think Venables plays that up?
Oh, they're going to be leveraged. That's bulletin board material right there. And to be honest, Vegas to me feels like they're trapping the heck out of everybody with that, right?
Yeah.
With the way that we feel like the Oklahoma offense has kind of struggled because, again, all these injuries, they don't have the players they need in order to create what they need to do to be successful on the offensive side. It's crazy that it's only a 7-point favorite, right? Tennessee has blown out every opponent that they've played just end to end. But it appears that Vegas feels like Oklahoma's a lot better than people are considering, and they're allowing all the traffic. I put it this way. Typically, when you have, and this is kind of a thing for those that want to understand how the sharps work occasionally, when a team has a favorite where Tennessee is at 7 and the traffic is heavily on them, they're usually trying to attract more traffic on the opposite side.
Sure.
If you've noticed, this line's not moving. It's not going up. It's not going. I've seen it go down to 6, and I've seen it go back up to 7 and 7.5. But it stayed in that range. You would have thought with 80 to 90% traffic of tickets and cash, you would think it'd be a 10-point spread, right? At this point, you got to get more Oklahoma bettors. Vegas wants as many Tennessee bettors as possible. So the Tennessee bettor is thinking, oh, Vegas is giving away free money. I'm going to take it. In Vegas's mind, they're thinking, I think we're going to clean up a little bit.
Yeah, it feels very trappish. Now, I will say, I've seen other ones that felt that way, right? Like, I think they were, Tennessee wasn't a massive favorite against NC State. So I kind of felt the same way in that. Again, I think Oklahoma's much better than NC State. But I thought that was the lock of the year. Like, man, Tennessee's going to blow NC State, and they did. So I don't know, but it does. It feels trappish, right? And I tend to think Tennessee is probably going to win here. No offense to the Oklahoma fans that walk in, but I don't care about either team. But the fact that the line just isn't moving at all makes me like step back and pause and be like, maybe I don't like them against the spread. Maybe I'll just take the over or something weird like that. Like, what worries you the most in this matchup?
What worries me is who actually ends up on the field. If we get 2 of the 3 offensive linemen that we've been needing back, Jake Taylor, Branson Hickman, and Troy Everett, I'm satisfied. If wide receiver Nick Anderson plays, I think we'll be just fine on the offensive side. We won't be as explosive as everybody wants. Let's put it this way. We won't be as explosive as Sooner fans are used to, right? Oklahoma's been an offensive team since 2014, and everyone is used to the offense just blowing up, getting 500 yards a game and all of that all on a regular basis. We've transitioned very quickly into being more of a defensive-sided team this year, and because of the veterans we have on defense, I expect the defense to be the ones that's going to run things. So for me, the biggest concern is the offense being able to keep the ball. The run game needs to keep the ball and keep the clock running. Make those Tennessee defensive linemen get exhausted. Wear them out. Do some misdirection. That way you're not really, it's more so making it to where they have to start doing a lot of subbing. Now, Tennessee subs a lot on the defensive line, so they're going to keep fresh bodies, but you want to keep them on the field as long as possible. So if there's any concern that I have, I need to see this run game pick itself up. It hasn't picked itself up this season so far, but that also attributes to a lot of the injuries. These linemen come back, I expect the offensive line to try to do something.
All right, Jay, what's your pick here? What's your prediction for what ends up happening on Saturday night?
I think it's going to be more of a defensive battle than people expect. I think that Nico Iamaleava is going to have a little bit of a struggle when it comes to passing on this defense. I think they're going to bait him. They're going to try to get him to make the mistakes that he's going to make as a redshirt freshman. That's what you do, right? Your job is to get the redshirt freshman to make the mistakes that's going to be beneficial to you. Now, I'll say this. I'm very happy that this game is the first game in the SEC schedule rather than in November. If this game was in November, this prediction would be the complete opposite. Right now, I'm sitting at Oklahoma winning this game 28-24, being just under the over-under, which is at, 56 and a half-ish range. I think they go just underneath it at 52, but I pick Oklahoma to win this one 28-24. If it was November, I'd probably pick differently.
Jay, where can folks find you? Where can they follow your work?
Yeah, find me, Unfair Sports, here on YouTube, as well as wherever podcasts are download and listen to. Thanks for having me, TJ.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks a bunch.
Appreciate BetUS for their support. If you want to see what Tennessee folks think about this matchup, you can click the link on the screen right now to check it out.